we tried as much as possible to follow the checklist of what we require the ministry to give us. Issues of seed schools, you have seen the gaps. Somewhere there are no documents attached. We have talked about grant aiding of schools. What would have expected, because I remember, Honorable Minister, when we are processing the first batch of schools to be grant aided, I think members need to be reminded, I think it was 2022, 2023, that financial year. The list originated from Parliament. And I'm happy that some districts have been considered and the coding is going on. But at that time, there is a communication that was made to the districts, and we agreed from Chigo, we had a retreat there, that a communication should be made to all the cows and give lists of schools, both primary and secondary, that could be grant aided, and I believe that information is with the ministry. So we would have expected to see out of that list, these schools have been grant aided. This list which they have given, since you went out in the field to make a validation of those schools, these are pending. And you have proposed 100 government secondary schools and 100 primary schools. I've seen some statement in your report, PS, but it's not giving up the list that you think are going to be grant aided. This could be a draft list. It will not be final, not until we agree on it. So we want that list. Then 3, rehabilitation of schools. Yes, an update has been made, but I don't know whether here you have touched a list of traditional schools to be rehabilitated. I don't remember seeing it, honorable members. Traditional schools, and up to now I don't understand. Maybe members, understand what traditional schools are, but I have heard a honorable member from Fort Portal City talking about Nyakasura. I don't know whether those are the traditional schools, and whether St. Michael High School from my district that began, the school started in 1980. I don't know whether that one is also traditional. So these lists have not been given. Then the issue, progress on the implementation of the lower secondary curriculum. This one is a very, very serious issue, Honorable Minister. I think it is very, very important that other than the information you gave us in the documents, let us clearly get out what the gaps, what is required for Parliament to give a contribution in making interventions to ensure things are done the right way. Then on presidential pledges, the list remained a little bit, the information remained a little bit general. Questions have been raised. How do you expect the local governments to budget for this? Have you given them guidelines which they should follow? Are you guiding them where they will get monies from to ensure the presidential pledges are handled? The university education, you have hinted about it. I must apologize to my brothers and sisters, the professors here and the accounting officers. I'm a product of different areas. I'm from TVET, but I'm from I also went to Makera, I did BSc with education and other degrees. But I would tell you that a distorted and higher underfunded, unfunded university education, higher education, can be a catastrophe to this country if you are not careful. When someone was saying that, Honorable Lady was saying, are these universities, are they producing teachers who are ready to deliver the lower secondary curriculum? I saw the chairperson of vice chancellors looking at the colleagues. Said, I think there is a problem. Moreover, the ministry is establishing unity members. National Teachers Policy is not with us. I mean the National Teachers Bill. But there must be problems. These universities are not funded. I expected the Ministry of Finance to be with us to address the issues of university education as far as funding is concerned. Now, Honorable Minister, we had scheduled a meeting for on 15th of this month. It couldn't take place because there was a release of UCE and other activities that the ministry was involved in. It is very important that you speak on that request, that measures that the Ministry of Education has put in place against these errant schools that have continued charging exorbitant fees in clear violation of the directives issued by the ministry. I remember there is a letter that Mama, the First Lady, wrote to all government-aided schools and government-funded schools not to increase fees after COVID. Those people went ahead and increased the fees. I don't know whether the PS has been responding whenever there is a request in the budget of these schools that they want to increase fees, and the ministry guides. I even don't know where they write. So it is a very big challenge. Our communication still stands. I'm actually, for this specific area, you need to prepare to give a response tomorrow. When we are interacting with the Education Service Commission, they gave us their validation report. In that report, there is a staff gap of 43% in secondary schools. There are some schools with less than 4 teachers on payroll. Currently, we are aware, honorable members, also addition to what I'm saying, there's an audit that has been carried on the payroll. But at the time when the Education Service Commission carried out that validation exercise, there were 498 teachers with forged appointment letters. 498 forged. To me, wouldn't wait for the security or the investigation team or the audit issues to do their part. But where were those forged letters coming from? They must, and these people accessed payroll. So we are wondering why the Education Service Commission, instead of giving notification, why they should not go ahead and issue the appointment letters. Probably the ministry will remain with deploying of teachers. TVET issues. Here, we have not talked too much about TVET issues, but members have brought out something. We have the bills, Honorable Minister. We have the rationalization bill, which we read at the beginning, and every member has a copy of this. But there are those bills which have not been included in the rationalization bill. We have the TVET bill, or the BTVET amendment bill. If you look at the TVET policy and you see what is taking place in the country, there is some kind of disconnection between the implementing institutions and what the TVET policy is saying. People are going to make mistakes, and they are going to have a problem. And if someone took us to court now, members, I'm not saying that we are taking people to court, and media, please, that's not what I'm saying. How do you enforce a policy without a clear law? The National Teachers Policy of 2019 is in place. You have gone ahead to work under the University and Tertiary Institutions Act, which has issues to establish unity. Now, we want government wants to operationalize unity and the Teachers Council under the Universities and Tertiary Institutions Act, which has problems. Honorable Minister, members, I'm saying this, I've been in the education sector for over 30 years. I'm saying some of these things out of experience. If you go to these universities, I taught in a university, I taught in Chambogo University, but I've never been in a university leadership. Professor Ikoja is looking at me. You go into a university, you find you have a CEO, I stand to be corrected, who is the Vice Chancellor, but you find a university secretary, who is the accounting officer. When it comes to enforcing what is supposed to be done in a university, there is a clash. There is a problem. When you go to this National Council for Education, you find all these institutions are represented, but you find the chairman, the Vice Chancellor of a university, I'm sorry to say this, is the chairman of the University Council. If a university gets a problem, what is going to happen? So there is a need to amend the Universities and Tertiary Institutions Act, and we put things in order. The number of issues, Honorable Minister, I think if we are going to stay here the whole day discussing things will not conclude. We had already scheduled a meeting for tomorrow. The ministry is privy to the rules of procedure of Parliament. I don't want to read it, but he knows, he's aware, and honorable members, you are aware. I'm going to send you back, Honorable Minister. You go back with your team and prepare. You come back tomorrow. and tomorrow we shall start at 9 a.m. Put your records in order, bring everything well organized, and I'm directing the committee clerk to draft a letter immediately after here. We are going to write the Minister of Finance. Minister of Finance must be here tomorrow so that we handle these issues. Universities, I'm sorry about this, but we don't do certain things for your sake and for the sake of our children. Tomorrow you come back at 9, and Minister of Finance will be here, and Minister of Education will be here, so that this is sorted. Let me get something from the Shadow Minister before I conclude.
Mr. Chairman, about the amendment of the University and Other Tertiary Institutions Act. You see, they have closed teacher training colleges, grade 3, and they left out core PTCs. But what is happening now, these people are training grade 3 teachers for diploma courses in the grade 3 teacher training colleges that were closed without any instrument issued by them. And the big question is, are they teaching these teachers? Because teachers from grade 3 are supposed to go to NTCs for diploma courses. But tutors are made to teach course outlines that are not within their reach, and they are moving on. That's the confusion we have. I think the minister should note this carefully.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so maybe in line with what Honorable is following up what he's saying, all the PTCs, I think they are 23, they have been repurposed, but they fit into unity. So, honorable colleagues, I don't usually make such a kind of decisions, and honorable minister, I must apologize for this, but you go back, prepare well. University is my brothers and sisters. We are sorry to keep you seated here for all that time, but we want finance to be here. Finance did not respect our invitation. We are going to remind them again today on phone calls and another written communication. So, meeting adjourned tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Curriculum tugikolako era abaana bajja kukola curriculum bintu ebisomesebwa abayizi baffe mu masomero. Twatandika okukyusa mu bisomesebwa n'ekigendererwa ekyokulaba nti omwana waffe bw'afulumira mu ssomero wonna asobola okuba nga alina obukugu obumusobozesa okwebeezaawo. Omulimu gwa curriculum review guli continuous. Mu kaseera oyongeramu ebipya okusinziira ku maketi ya job market. Naye nze nina obukakafu nti ebbanga lyetusigaza senga government oba senga ministry senga ba member of parliament tukolera wamu sente ze twasaba okusobola okutraininga abasomesa, okusobola okufuna ebitabo, okusobola okussaawo kino oba kiri, senga zonna tuzifuna. Tuli mu budde era abaana baffe bajja kusomesebwa bulungi, bajja kukola ebigezo era eggwanga lisobole okulaakulana. Naye njagala onaku zino mbadde mpulira ku kya school fees, exorbitant school fees ne mu parliament wano. Government njagala buli munna mumanyi nti government eyagala nnyo buli mwana w'eggwanga abeere ng'agenda mu ssomero ng'abeerayo ng'asoma ate ng'amala nga tewaliwo kyonna kimulemesa wadde ssente. Kati waliwo abalemesezza abaana baffe okusoma school fees olw'okubinika abazadde school fees. Government esobola kutuula butuuzi kutunula nga waliwo kimuyise exorbitant school fees. Government egenda soon tugenda kujjayo tujja ne statutory instrument egenda okuleera nti regulatinga school fees ne okupala kibi. Okupala sedane mu Luganda si kintu kirungi. Tugenda ku regulatory instrument yetugenda okujja nayo kati almost tugimaliriza ne kati tugenda tu consulting ba stakeholders omulina abazadde omulina abaki so that tubere n'enkola. Naye nga government yeyagala buli mwana abeere nga agenda ku ssomero asome amaleko agenda akulakulanya ensi ye. Obusibu tebwamala. First of all, I want you to be aware that government is committed to have each and every child of school-going age go to school, stay there until the cycle is complete. And in a way, he will be able to, whatever stage he jumps out of the education system, should be able to participate actively in the development of this country. There are two issues I wanted to make a comment upon. One is the new curriculum, lower secondary school curriculum. Now it is at year 4. This year they will be presented, our students will be presented to UNEB for final assessment. I don't want the world to get worried. We are in control. Everything has been done to make sure that by the time our students complete, they will have all the necessary skills and the knowledge that was meant to be provided according to the new curriculum. However, there are a few things that have not been yet done to our satisfaction. Like, for example, the recruitment, the training of some teachers has not been properly well done. But we have a plan to have all our teachers who are managing our children, who are managing this new curriculum. We have a plan to make all of them prepared for the task. What we need is just the support of Parliament, the support of all the stakeholders, the support of the parents, the support of everybody, so that we get the necessary resources to ensure that our curriculum is delivered as it is as planned. The other issue was exorbitant fees. As I said, that government wants everybody to go to school. We don't want anything that fails any of our children from attaining quality education, even if it is school fees. That's why government is coming in to regulate the school fees structure, so that we don't have what you have called a hiking of school fees. That is very dangerous. It's not acceptable. That's why we have, as a ministry, we have prepared a statutory instrument which will be discussed by all the different stakeholders, including yourselves. When that of course, it will end with the Parliament. Once it becomes it is acceptable, we shall implement it to the letter.
Maybe at what stages is it, and how soon?
Of course, we had submitted a proposal to Cabinet before last year. Then government advised us that instead of the instrument, that government was going to look for money to pay for comprehensive, to pay for universal and compulsory primary education, universal and compulsory secondary education. And the government is almost getting all that money. Only that we are going to implement that in a phased manner, because of you know what money is. We have identified how we are going to get that money, but it will be released in a phased manner. That's why we are starting with. I'll give you the details later, but I think I don't want to give you too much. But the point is, there will be a regulation. There will be regulations, so that we don't have things like a hiking, which has forced many of our children out of school.
Kulowa secondary curriculum nga mawulidde olunaku lwa leero tubaddeko ne Minister of Education wano nga tugezaako kwogera ku curriculum nga bwe bagitandika okugikola n'ekye bali basuubira okufunamu. Naye nga Minister bwe yakiripooti nze yennyini yagambye nti abasomesa bwe basobodde okutraininga okutegeeza curriculum n'engeri gye bagenda okugiyigiriza bali 35%, emitunda 35 ku 100. Olabira ddala nti tebanaba kutambula distance enene. Kye beekwasa kiri ku kintu kyaki kya ssente. Naye ekikulu nga kakiiko kye tubadde twagala batubulire bulungi, batugambe nti ebyetaaga biri bwe biti, essente ze tulina ziri bwe ziti, naye zigenda okukola bino na bino, ebintu bino bisigadde byagala ssente, so tusobole okutegeera nga Parliament tusobola okuyamba ministry okukwatira wamu ne tukolera wamu ne tunoonya ssente ezo ne tuzifuna, kulaba ssente ezo bwe ziri tuzijeewa okulaba nti curriculum etambula, kubanga kati challenge eriwo eri emu. UNEB we twogera kati UNEB erimu kutegeka come November bajja kuleeta exams nga bagobera curriculum mwene eriko. Naye kati bwogenda mu masomero eyo bagenda kujja continuous assessment, n'abasomesa bokka baliyo tebategeera kye basomesa. Ministry yatugambye bwe watwadde leero bagambye nti amasomero agamu baagazuula nti gakyasomesa ebikadde, bagenda ne basomesa ne batuuka wakati ne babula ate ne bakomayo ne basomesa curriculum eri enkadde kati abaana bagenda batya kukola ebibuuzo ebyo kati ekintu ekyo tetwakitegedde bulungi era y'ensonga y'emu gye tuletedde okugamba tubasooke baddeyo beetereeze enkya bakomewo tusobole okukwatagana nabo obulungi tulabe obugwe baagala okuyambibwa so kyekizibu kyakabiri then ekyokubiri twayogeddemu n'aba-universities babadde bamaliriza Makerere eyo kirabika yegezezaako okuteekako nga unit institute mu school of education college of education Makerere egezaako okulaba engeri gye basobola okutetenkanya lower secondary curriculum kubanga tekyewuunyisa tulina universities nyingi mu ggwanga wano naye nyingi zisomesa ne education naye kati omusomesa afuluma ava mu university nga tategeera ekiri mu lower secondary curriculum kati weebuuza omusomesa oyo agenda kusomesa ati abaana abo kati ebyo byonna tubyetaaga tusuubira enkya bajja kubitubuulira.
Minister tutegeezezza nti ekyokusolovinga obuzibu bwa school fees musuubira eno ye solution era mwakitegeddeko ng'akakiiko.
Ekintu kya school fees ekizubita school fees ekintu ekyo tekinaba kuvaayo bulungi kubanga mujja kujjukira nti gyali February 2022 Honorable Sarah Opendi yaleeta motion mu parliament motion nejja mu committee netuprocessing a report netugireta mu parliament era babaka ne bagamba okusinziira bibaddewo baliwo kibaali baagala nga komite ekoleetya etereeze bakuba te komite bwe yali yaddamu okusinziira ku gundi move of the nation yali asaba n'abalala akati bwe twayita mu report eyo ne tupresentinga ministry nepikingamu kintu ekimu kyali kigamba nti ebiseera ebyo byonna baba tebalina engenderwawo yebasanidde okukola the regulations bagamba tebaali nazo tebaziina so kati ne bagamba bazikole kakati regulation ezo ndoza ministry zagezaako okutegeeza naye kakati ekibuuzo ekyo tubabuuza nga committee nga parliament tubagamba nti baba baleeta gundi twabuulira buulizi nti bakola tetulina kutegeera nga committee nti balina kye bakola naye tubuulira buulizi naye kakati ekibuuzo kye twebuuza baba bakola regulation nga bwe kiri mu education act nga bwe kiri government yateekako amasomero ga bwannannyini ne ziyita private companies agamasomero bagaregisteringa bayinza okugamba nti kankwenga ekyokulabirako bayinza okugamba nti Kagando senior secondary school eri private baziregisteringa as limited companies by shares abantu bali babiri basatu kumba obuninga essomero lyabwe kati ekyobubi nnyo amasomero ago business gye bakola eri mu baana abaana be balinga goods and services kati bw'oba olina company endala naye nebanga esuubuza produce bagula kasooli bagula ebiki ne babisuubuza ne bali mu kukola magoba kati tugamba nti government egenda kuregulating etya private schools
byoli bannayuganda nti ate kati ngenda kuregulating esente z'onaasasula omusomesa oba z'onaasasula omukozi yenna akola mu masomero aga private gagesotinga gokka bw'otunuulira n'amasomero ge tuyita government aided bw'otunuulira government ega nti nze nditeekamu naye nga abasomesa beweteekayo ndoza eri ku 30% oba 40% tegeeza 60% basasula zi PTA mikinchiko z'abazadde zesasula amasomero ago kati fano getugamba kati nziwange entebe jeva ntebe SS ojagisanga government ina abasomesa esomero leta abasomesa